Thank you very much, Chairman Barrasso, and thank you for your generosity, Senator Carper. In 2006, residents from Duplin County, North Carolina, came to Washington asking for help. Now there are about 60,000 people that actually live in this county in North Carolina, but there are more than 2 million pigs being raised there to produce pork. And the waste from 2 million pigs, as you probably know, Mr. Hill, is equivalent to the waste of about 20 million people that they would produce. And the primary way pig waste is being disposed of in Duplin County is by piping it into huge open-air manure lagoons and spraying the waste out onto open fields. These residents came to Washington complaining about suffering from very serious respiratory problems like asthma, higher rates of asthma, higher rates of eye irritation, depression, and numerous other health problems caused by living near these lagoons and the spray fields. I was so astonished by this, we don't really have these in New Jersey, that I actually went down to Duplin County to see firsthand what was going on. I saw the pig waste being sprayed. I watched it with my own eyes. I saw how it was misting off of the spray fields into the local community, carrying it onto adjacent properties. And the wretched smell everywhere we went around there in people's communities and their homes is something I won't forget. I met with local residents in a large group and heard their stories, painful stories, about how the drinking water in their wells has been poisoned by runoff from the CAFOs, and how they felt like prisoners in their own homes, how they couldn't run their air conditioners, couldn't open their windows. And so while I agree that we need to make sure our farmers do not have unnecessary government regulations and red tape, I also know that something has to be done about these horrible conditions I saw that nobody would want their families to live in, that's harming farmers and the communities they live in. And I really want to be clear here, because I do not think it should be contract farmers who too are living in challenging conditions, often making very low wages at really rough margins. I don't think these folks, these good, hardworking Americans, some of the most hardworking people I've met, they should not have to solve this problem. It's the big, huge integrators who make billions of dollars in profits. One of the biggest companies down there is a Chinese-owned company that in many ways, with the pork that's being shipped to their country, they're outsourcing these problems to us while taking the benefit of our pork. And so, Mr. Hill, my time is short, but this is one of the more painful things I've seen as an American. And it's a long answer to the question, I'm sure. So just to respect my time, my limited time, could you please provide to me a written response for the record about what steps your industry is taking to reduce the harmful impact of the kind of CAFOs that I saw and they're having on real American people? Could you provide that answer for me in writing, sir?
Well, possibly we could do that. You know, we have the largest population of swine in Iowa, and we've used new technology to apply manure. We don't see that as...
And sir, just for my own time, I apologize, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have other questions. Could you just respond in writing? What I saw there, no human being should have to live in those conditions. The property values around those CAFOs have gone way down. People who've been on that soil since the 1800s, please just respond to me in writing, because I have some other questions I'd like to ask you, Mr. Hill. Mr. Hill, some of these family farmers are right behind you, incredible Americans who I've come to just have reverence for and respect. They're in the hearing room today, including some hog farmers amongst them. They've expressed serious concerns to me about a different problem, the pork checkoff program, which they're required to pay into, but too often feel doesn't work to their interests. As you know, last week, a federal court found that payments of millions of dollars of checkoff funds from the pork board to your organization, the Pork Producers Council, were improper, and they said they must stop. Senator Lee, a Republican senator from Utah, and I have introduced a bipartisan bill that would make reforms to the checkoff program. And so do you agree that it would be beneficial to make those programs more transparent so that family farmers, like the folks behind you who are doing so much of the real work in America, can quickly see the budgets and expenditures that are approved by the USDA? And do you agree that it's good to have periodic independent audits of those checkoff programs so there's a fundamental fairness for, again, these small family farmers who are struggling so much? And do you agree that checkoff funds should only be used in ways that benefit all farmers paying into them, especially and including small family farmers that are here today?
And they are. they are being used to the benefit of everybody. We export now 26% of all of our pork. That increases the value of every pig about $50. In 1993, we were a net importer of pork. So those funds are used for a lot of different things, but part of it is used for developing customers outside of the United States, which our industry depends on, which helps every producer that's raising pigs.
Sir, my time has expired, Mr. Chairman, but a judge has disagreed with the gentleman's answer, and you can see from the heads shaking back and forth no. There's a whole bunch of local farmers around this country who are not getting the benefit and feel really mistreated by this program. I think it's something that we, and Senator Lee and I are trying to lead this, that we should reform and change.